This isn't going to work well.
It's fun.
I'm getting ready to share with you. It's on YouTube. There's a link in the description. It's a video of us that's got the audio from a speech JFK gave at the Waldorf Astoria to the press corps, to all the press people. It's a 30-minute sort of speech. This has been condensed down to under 2 minutes. All right, so we can look at it and talk about it. But I encourage you to find the full-length version and listen, so you can hear it in context. Okay, we're not making anything up here. But the thrust of what he was saying is that we don't have any secrets. We want you to call us on it if you think there's secrets. The American people deserve to know the truth about every mistake, every victory, everything. It's a powerful speech, and the press corps applauds him for it. And 2.5 years later, JFK is slumped over on his wife's shoulder in the back of a limousine. Not good. By any stretch of the imagination. So anyway, let's just quickly analyze this speech, because it was this speech that really got me thinking and started freaking me the hell out.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. But I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
But in American culture, we don't cotton to secret societies. We don't dig them at all, because of stuff that we dealt with way before you and I were born, back in Europe. Secret societies jacking everybody up and stuff. We don't cotton to that. We don't like Big Brother. We don't like big secrets. Everything's got to be known about everybody. Of course, in my own home, you don't get to know shit about me. The NSA knows everything about me, though, and they'll probably take me out before this is over. So anyway, that's the first thing. We are opposed to secret societies, oaths, and proceedings. There's a very interesting thing he goes on to say that I think is telling us something. He says, for we are opposed around the world by a monolithic organization. And then he goes on to describe that organization. You feel me on that? You could try to insert, well, he's talking about the communists. No, because he's talking about every level of government, politics, every level of society they're into, and they're united. They're monolithic, means large, powerful, and intractably indivisible and uniform. It's this thing. They've conscripted vast resources. It's a global thing, and its fingers, its roots are in everything. This is what JFK is saying. That's what he says in the speech. I don't know in what other context or interpretation to use, but that's what he's saying. You know, JFK and Bobby Kennedy, they were both on the side of anti-corruption, rooting out bad guys. I mean, they were going off. That's why Bobby got killed. Well, I have a theory about that too. But they weren't screwing around. And so right here in this speech, he's calling out saying, we know all these bad guys exist. There's this huge conspiracy going on with vast resources. It's amazing. But he also says that in there, and let's see if I can get this right. He says, their primary purpose is to expand their sphere of influence. Expand their sphere of influence. I need you to remember that. Their purpose is to expand their sphere of influence. Because does that sound like anybody? Think back. Think way back. Go back further. A little bit more. Okay. Hail Caesar. You'll see what I'm saying in just a minute. That was like a little spoiler alert right there. But this is interesting. He says its dissenters are silenced. Silenced. JFK in the whole beginning of that speech is offering a dissension towards these conspiracy people, whatever this monolithic society is, monolithic organization. And he goes on after that and he just rails on about it too. Openness. We're not like that. We will tell you everything we know about everything we know. I mean, listen to the whole speech and come up with your own interpretation. That's what I came up with. So the the tragedy is, he names the organization, or at least describes it to us. He says what happens to dissenters as he's dissenting. And then he tells us why they do it, to expand their sphere of influence. Is that interesting to anybody that sort of ties together? So, you know what? Here's the thing. Does it matter if somebody wants to think it was Ozzy by himself, or that LBJ was a part of it, Lyndon B. Johnson, the vice president, and then became president? Does it matter that there was a second gunman? See, do we care about all those little details? Do those matter? That's what I'm getting at. In the big scheme of things, let's argue about 3 shots or 4, 1 shot or 2. Let's argue about how many gunmen. Let's argue about whether Oswald was military trained sniper or just a jackhole. I mean, we can argue about all that, but what that does is that keeps us from looking for the real answer. We're distracted. Back in the ancient Roman Empire, when the masses were starving and things weren't going well for the empire, that's where they came up with all the all the games, all the Colosseum crap. It keeps the people's minds off the fact that 80% of them were slaves. It's like, oh, but they take such good care of us. But you see, you do anything you want to them. Because they keep coming back for more because, oh, I'm throwing bread. Oh, I'm benevolent. Oh, my people, that kind of thing. Anyway, whatever. I digress. It's part of my charm.